I don't think we have the same distance, is what I would say, between, yeah. So it would have been a problem. Yeah, that would have been good. No, I didn't do anything of the sort. My timing was, my rhythm and my timing, it left me for a second. I was like, whoa, I'm too early. No, I'm right. Go on with the intro. Why are you stuttering?
Who was that? Was that Emiliano Grillo on the 72nd hole? Is that the tee shot last year?
Yeah.
Little timing?
Yeah.
Little timing issue.
Yeah, the moment got too big. It wasn't Grillo. It was somebody else who's never even been in contention. But he fell to pieces. That swing looked like my swing after 2 pars in a row, and it gets in my head. Hey, you're playing pretty well. Don't screw it up. I'm pretty sure they tell you, like a sports psychologist would tell you, don't do that. Don't ever say that. Why are you saying that? I do invariably. If I ever start birdie, par, I'm done. Here comes a 12. My brain goes, what are you doing? You're playing like you're on the tour. Oh, goodness gracious. So it is. We arrive at a Libations Friday. Loosey-goosey indeed. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, will join us today. We'll look at the props, have some fun with it, and then the final wager for my mother and I will close out the football season, or the Jeff Cameron Show's editions of the football season, and Mom bets anyhow. And there's that.
Mito Pereira.
Yeah,
and then we can put that to bed.
I knew it wasn't Grillo, and it was going to bother you, so I'm glad you looked it up. Yeah, Mito Pereira showed that he had never been in contention. He's like, here we go. Oh, that's not a golf swing. And it's going dead right 109 yards off the tee. Oddly, that looked like Colin Montgomery at the U.S. Open with a 7-iron in his hand on 18. With a chance to win the Open, the elusive major.
He got to the second shot. You know, Phil didn't make it off the tee.
Oh, we threw it into the
Mito
hospitality tent.
Didn't make it off the tee. Rory didn't make it off a 10 tee at the Masters.
Yeah. Oh, that's still one of the toughest things I've ever had to watch. I'm so glad he won the next major, or else his career might have gone like completely off the rails had he not won the next major.
Probably so.
Because he hit it in places nobody's seen at Augusta National before. They're like, that's a house. I've never seen that house before.
Could have been Rory Westwood.
That was tough. Remember, he was almost in tears over his driver on the next hole. You're like, oh, I don't like watching this. I feel like this is not good. This is
Your football analogy to that would be, what if Nebraska made the kick in 93? Did we win any?
Well, I've said before that I really remember vividly saying to my father, it felt like you could see the monkey jump off of Bobby Bowden's back and run across the field onto Tom Osborne's. Now, we could have known Tom would quickly shake it. Just as Bobby did his, Tom did as well.
What he did to that monkey?
We don't speak of.
No, we don't.
No. But yeah, the 90s was, you were getting the monkey off your back if you were Bowden or Tom Osborne, and they both did. But man, when Nebraska lost that game and Florida State won it, I remember the relief just turning to my father, like, okay, that's it. They can't say it ever again. He has won the big one. It's over.
Tried to lose it.
Well, we did. I don't want to get down. That was, woo.
I thank the pandemic for educating me on just how much he tried to lose that one.
I've talked about that before a lot. You know, this is a fun weekend. Super Bowl weekend's like a national holiday. And one of the things I was thinking about all week long, really, and I didn't bring it up, and I should here, the NFL is king. We know the numbers. The ratings will be huge for this game because it's a good game. It's a compelling contest. You have big markets and high-profile stars in this game. And, obviously, if you're Patrick Mahomes, we do start talking a little bit of legacy stuff here as he wins his second MVP. So now you got 2, and you had a chance to win your second Super Bowl, and, you've been to another one. So you really do begin to wonder, like, where does that go? And I don't like legacy talk when a guy's relatively early in his career, but I get that it starts to take shape, and everybody, by way of comparison, will now be juxtaposed to Tom Brady. But that's not the story. The story is why the NFL is king, and it's represented with these two franchises, in particular Philadelphia this time around. Think about the Eagles. They were in shambles 2 years ago. It was a joke, and that was not a good team. 4-11-1. They were playing Nate Sudfeld. You remember those days there, Director Matthew? How proud you had to have been when Nate Sudfeld came into the game, replacing an impotent Jalen Hurts who wasn't any good. Remember when Jalen Hurts sucked? Because he did before this year. Always kind of suck. And here he was 7 of 20 when he got benched for Nate Sudfeld. They're like, yeah, this isn't working. And they were excoriated for it because, remember, that allowed Washington to get into the playoffs at 7-9. Remember that weird thing that happened? That was the whole thing. Yeah. People were furious.
And Heineke gave us a run for our money.
Yes, he did. Yeah, the magic of Heineke was born.
Yeah, it was.
Doug Peterson, 3 years removed from having won the Super Bowl, was to be fired. They were a disaster. Carson Wentz was the franchise quarterback. People thought that was going to be a Hall of Famer in 2019. Unsettled by the decision to draft Jalen Hurts, as they wrote. Got frustrated. Problems began to happen. He's never been the same. Then we find out everybody hates him. That's just an aside. Really weird. Out of nowhere, we found out everybody hates Carson Wentz. Remember the whispers at first? You're like,
yeah.
Well, I don't think he seems like a nice enough guy. Nope, everybody hates him.
So I actually learned a little bit more this week because obviously there's a lot of Eagles talk.
Yeah.
And Peter King was speaking on it. Apparently, he had a paranoia complex, Carson Wentz. Any move the team made was, oh, God.
They're out to get me?
Yes, and he would verbalize that. And so, I mean, that's just, dude.
What are you doing?
Right. And that's Peter King's point. It's like, man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
They were trying to solidify the roster around you.
Yeah.
Instead, it ended up being Jalen Hurts, who they solidified the roster around you with.
They won a Super Bowl with a backup. They still wanted to give the ball to you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Everybody's out to get you.
Yeah. It's nuts. It is weird. And so, by the way, this is the time where, Holly Roseman, who's now heralded, they wanted him out with the bathwater too. They wanted them all gone. Get out, you bums. We're 4-11-1, starting Nate Sudfeld out here. This ain't getting it done.
They give us hope as Buccaneers fans.
This is the point I'm making. They gave everybody hope. Everybody gets this hope every year. There's an Eagles every year. This is the NFL. It's crazy. They were a laughingstock. Matthew would come in here and didn't even talk about them because why would you?
Oh, yeah, we smoked their ass
in the playoffs a year ago. That wasn't even a competitive football game.
Same quarterback.
You know what I remember thinking going into the game? They can't win because they got sorry-ass Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I was on a flight.
The exact thought.
I was on a flight to Mexico, and I was going to miss the first 2 quarters.
I was like, don't worry about it.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, this is how quickly things change, though. Yeah. That's what's amazing, is that we were last year, I literally said to my mom, who was nervous about the game, don't worry, it's Jalen Hurts. He sucks. He can't play. We'll keep him in the pocket. That'll be the ball game, which was true. Which was absolutely true. And then think where we are. Now that dude, it was an MVP candidate. It was him or Mahomes. Coin flip. So, they end up rebuilding the roster. They get the coaching hire that they needed. Nick Sirianni, who nobody also thought all that much of. And, it's pretty funny to think about that too. Hurts, now a star, and then do it with the Chiefs, because you can do it with the Chiefs. A mess of an organization even a decade ago, just a mess of an organization. Matt Castle, Brady Quinn, the quarterback tandem at the time there in Kansas City, lest we forget. Matt Castle, Brady Quinn combo.
They stabilized and righted the ship with Alex Smith.
Yeah.
The defense couldn't hold up in a shootout with Andrew Luck that was actually a blowout that turned into a shootout.
Yeah.
And then they were above average. They were just kind of above average, consistent. Dwayne Bowe was their number 1 receiver. Then Travis Kelce emerges out of nowhere.
Yeah, so it's really pretty cool, too, that story. And they've sustained it now because they got the quarterback right. They were 2-14. Kansas City Chiefs were 2-14. Fewest wins in franchise history. The Chiefs lost 9 games by at least 15 points and never had a lead during the season, save for till after week 10. At no point did the Chiefs in 2012 have a lead through 10 weeks of football. Can you imagine? Here I'm talking about what the NFL is and why it works and the hope it provides people, even for fans of teams that are 2-14. That season, they were really bereft of hope. They never had a lead for 10 weeks. Not even 3-0. That's nuts. And then they had the tragedy, which I had forgotten about until I started jotting notes this morning. which was crazy. That Javon Belcher situation, if you recall, that was nuts.
In the parking lot.
Well, yeah, he killed his girlfriend, drove to the team's practice facility, and took his life in front of the coach and GM. It was a crazy day, but how quickly we forget. I mean, I was reminded of that when I was going back through these records and reading stories and thinking, oh, my God, that happened. That's right. Romeo Crennel fired a month later. It's your fault, Romeo. They fired him. Third straight coach at the time in Kansas City, Tom, to finish his stint in Kansas City with a losing record. Third straight.
Herm Edwards is one of them.
Grand opening, grand closing. So then, you know, fast forward a little bit here. You hire Andy Reid, stabilizes the front office. He himself needed to change the scenery. They were done with him in Philadelphia. And he also had the tragedy. His son died of an overdose. And then, you know, they weren't winning games and he was frustrated. So, it was time for him to move. He moves, gets to a good spot, stabilizes a disorganized and really fractured organization. And very quickly, they make the decision to draft, a couple years later, Patrick Mahomes. And now they've won 7 straight division championships, playing in their 3rd Super Bowl, and they'll be a fixture for however long Patrick Mahomes is there.
Didn't they trade up to get him? Do I remember that right? Yeah, they did.
So they thought he was going to get nabbed, and they were really
worried. It was
worried.
Deshaun Watson versus Mahomes, and that was when the moment that they traded for him, the whole world thought, "Oh, Watson, nice, good job." Nope, and they were correct.
Pretty crazy, right? I mean, but that's how quickly it happens, and so it is that you kind of mark the time and realize when your team's awful, when your team's terrible, the thing the NFL provides you is hope that it doesn't have to be that way as soon as next year. I remember years ago, you and I were doing the show, and I believe the Carolina Panthers, it was during that stretch, Tom, where the NFC South winner was changed every year for like 7 straight years.
Yep.
And
it would go last to first.
Last to first. It was bizarre how that went down. And that previous year, I think Carolina had been in last, and then they were in the midst of winning the division. And we were like, well, damn. Carolina went from 5-11 to whooping ass, and this is the thing. That's the beauty of it. Well, that's a salary cap league. If you get the right quarterback and you get the right coach, it can change everything in a real hurry.
Especially if you can get the right quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yeah,
because then you can make hay for 4 or 5 years.
Ronde Barber to the Hall of Fame. Really quickly though, Ken Riley, who I actually knew pretty well, and was over at Florida A&M when I broke into this business, interviewed him many times, and was a great coach in his own right and a great player. Congratulations, Ken Riley, long overdue, gets into the Hall of Fame as defensive back. And I'm too young to remember his career, Tom. I don't ever get to say that.
or you're just lying. Could be a lie.
Yeah, that I don't remember his career.
Yeah,
I don't remember him playing. Was it the 70s? Ken Riley? You think I should know that, right?
I assume so. To me, anything pre-1985 is all the same. You know, it's look-up territory. Got to look it up.
Ken Riley, here we go.
Pre-1994, really, but I learned about what happened when I was on this earth. You watch ESPN2 all summer long as an 8-year-old, you're going to catch up on the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, see, I don't. Good. Drafted in 1969. I wasn't born. So I'm not lying, Tom. I don't remember his career. I wasn't even in the country. I wasn't alive for the first part of his career, and I wasn't in the country for the next part of his career.
Of course you weren't.
So there it is. Now, he did play long enough that I could have remembered the back end of his career when I was, 9 years old or so.
Should have. He's a Hall of Famer.
He wasn't playing like a Hall of Famer by then. Also, he was in Cincinnati, and I didn't care anything about Cincinnati, so I don't think I would have thought about it very much. I probably would.
You haven't until Joe. Joe changed it for you. Now you care about what happens in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I remember Boomer Esiason there, and Ickey Woods, and I remember them getting to the Super Bowl and losing to San Francisco in what was one of the great Super Bowls.
But you never liked Boomer.
I hate Boomer.
Yeah.
I hate him. I still do.
But you love Burrow.
I think he sucks as an analyst. I think he's an arrogant ass. I think he's a sorry host of a talk show. I think he's terrible at everything. But he was a good quarterback. Yeah. I hated him. Somebody's like, Boomer's my hero. What are you talking about? My mom likes Boomer Esiason. I used to be like, why? There's nothing to like about Boomer Esiason. You want to slap his smug face every time you see him.
Who's the worst Boomer? Esiason
or
Berman?
That's it. Esiason.
You got to get rid of one.
Esiason's
wow, you keep Berman.
Yeah, I mean, he became a caricature of himself later years. In the beginning, it was new and fresh, and nobody did it like him, and he kind of originated the personality at the spot after Howard Cosell to some degree. I'll give him that. But so he accomplished something, and
so if you had to golf, if you had to golf with one Boomer, which one would you had to pick a Boomer?
Let me say this, because just in case the wrong people hear it. I am told by everybody who would know, and the few interactions I've had with those people, that he is a great guy, that everybody likes Chris Berman, that he's a good person and a fun guy, and you'd like to hang out with him. And I don't doubt that to be true. So that seems reasonable enough.
You got a podcast coming up with him?
But I know people who know him really well, and I know people that I've had to interact with at ESPN before. I don't want, I'm saying I don't think he's a bad guy. I just hated his broadcast style by the end. It was awful. And he just, wasn't something that wasn't my cup of tea. You can't go back at the home run derby, Chris. It's the home run derby. You got to know enough to know you can't do it.
Do you think that's how he gave advice to children? He's like, make sure you make the right decisions because you can't go back. And do it over again.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's just an example. One more reminder of why, yet again, the NFL will always be king. Your team that stinks right now, you're listening to me, your team's garbage. You're watching these two teams that you can't stand. Hang in there, man. It could be you next year.
Even the Lions have a chance.
Oh, the Lions are pretty good at the end of this last year. That's right. If you're a Lions fan right now, you're like, you know what? It could be,
I think they've got 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. There you go. Shore up the defense a little bit.
That's the other reason the NFL's king. We all love the draft because we're passionate about college football. And if you're passionate about college football, you know the players on all the teams, and you can't wait to watch that draft. Whereas in the Major League Baseball, you've never seen anybody of those guys play. You're like, who the hell is this guy? Same thing in the NBA half the time. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. The game is international. Draft people from wherever. But I don't know where that guy played in Norway. I never saw him. I don't know who he is.
Yeah. If I was the MLB commissioner, I would just make up names, see if fans caught on to it. Just one per the first round, because they televise that now. One, and you got to guess which one it is.
That guy's name isn't Lancashire Sherpa. There's no way. I'm calling BS on that. The shortstop, Lancashire Sherpa, really? Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Every day, Sellers makes life a little better for homeowners, helping them find the best design ideas for their homes with the best quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Even mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions are at their fingertips in their remarkable showroom. Maybe it's time for you to get the Sellers advantage for your home or office. Find them on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for style, quality, and design. Get the Sellers advantage. In Tallahassee, call 656-8453.
A cup of Joe, Java, brew, go-go beans, brainwater, liquid lightning, wakey juice, whatever you call your cup of coffee, you're missing out if it's not Grassroots Coffee. At grassrootscoffee.com, you'll find an easy way to order the best roasted coffee beans available. It's very simple. Choose the blend you want and how you want it ground, and the bag you receive will have the date your beans were roasted and packaged on it, all written by hand and signed by the roast master himself. You'll know that's as fresh as it gets. You can get Grassroots outside of your house also at some of your favorite restaurants in town. Next time you're out to eat, try asking for Grassroots Coffee by name, because there's a good chance they will have it for you. And if you own a business, Grassroots Coffee has options to stock your break rooms with all the productivity powder your team needs. Plus, like some other options that you'll find at work, Grassroots Coffee actually is a part of our community. Get to grassrootscoffee.com today and get yourself a treat. Some locally owned, locally roasted, and locally loved Grassroots Coffee.
Motorcycle accident? Call Facing Brooks Law Offices, 777-7777. The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
Big Brothers Big Sisters of Big Bend, along with Love Tito's Foundation, is excited to launch the Big Draft. Get in the game today. Become a Sports Buddies mentor. Visit bigbendmentoring.org/sports buddies to find out more.
So let's say you're considering buying a new home in the current climate. All heard that demand is high, inventory is low. So how do you get a leg up on the rest of the buyers all making offers on the same house as you? Oh, that's a toughie. But the first place I'd suggest you start is with a call to my friend Shannon at Legendary Home Loans. Shannon will set you up with a complete pre-approval underwriting. This used to be an upgrade, but nowadays it's got to be standard. You want to get your offer on a new home pushed to the front of the line, you need a TBD full underwriting approval from Legendary Home Loans. You'll shorten or even remove your financing contingency, and the sellers will know that your offer is real and ready to go. It's tough out there these days, folks, so why not have the advantage of a proven winning team in your huddle? Get pre-approval underwriting from my friend Shannon with the one and only Legendary Home Loans. Call now, 844-FSU-LOAN, 844-FSU-LOAN, or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
The rest of that class, yeah, I mentioned it. Ronde Barber gets in, another Buccaneer in the Hall of Fame. I would have bet money that was not going to be the case for much of his career. Not that I am not appreciative of the player he was. He ended up being, they kind of created a role for him.
They did. And on that championship defense, he has the seminal play.
He has the play, yeah.
But he was maybe the fifth best player on that defense.
Yeah, that defense was, obviously between Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, go on down the list. I mean, yes, you would not
Simeon Rice.
Well, I know you would not name him with the first three names. Maybe fourth best. He had a great year. He was a really good player that
Brooks,
year.
Sapp, Rice, and then Lynch, Barber. But I don't know. Brian Kelly was. I mean, that was our lockdown corner in that defense.
I'll always be grateful to Brian Kelly for dropping a pick six against Florida State. He was at USC. But good for him for getting in. And also, he was really nice to my mom when we were at the Lightning game. She'll probably bring it up next hour when we talk about it. I was in the box with him, and my mom loves him. And so I took a picture with her and him, and he was a sweetheart of a man. It is weird when a guy's in the Hall of Fame and you're standing next to him and he's tiny. You're kind of like, wow, that guy was good, and he's that small in that league with those behemoths. He's tiny.
He also knew that. That's why he had interned with my dad's financial company in downtown Tampa before he became Ronde Barber.
He didn't think he was going to become Ronde Barber.
Nice young man. Young man.
He was super nice. And he was, again, I'll always be appreciative. He was really nice to my mom when we were there. And she still has the picture. I got it framed for her. I gave it to her for a present. And she has it up, her Buccaneers shrine with the Derek Brooks helmet and everything else. I thought of her when I saw the news. She had to be elated, like, yay, Ronde. She'll bring it up later today. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, joins us again, and this is a wrap-up on the football season. It's always a fun conversation. Hello, Lee. How the hell are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm going to be how about get this, the offensive coordinator, linebacker coach, maybe secondary coach, and quality. I'm going to be like four different titles for the University of Miami.
I love it. Yeah,
You're
going through them these days, my man.
I know.
Oh, so which props stand out? You take this anywhere you want it to go. We kind of freelance this every year, and I let you guide the ship.
All right, so let's start with some player props first.
All right.
So we're looking for value here, and the key is don't play, like 50 or 60 prop wagers. Remember, when you're doing player props, the big is not minus 110 like the game. It's usually minus 115 to minus 130.
Correct.
So here's a couple that I think are off. Running back Kenneth Gainwell. He comes from Memphis. He's a third down back for the Eagles. They have his over-under on rushing yards at 19.5. Okay, that's high for a third down back. But seems like when he comes in the game, they'll leave him in the game sometimes for 4, 5, or 6 plays afterwards. So he's one of these guys that can rip off a 15, 20-yard run. I have him projected at 37 yards. So I think the over 19.5 rushing yards is a very strong player prop. Also, Juju Smith-Schuster, receiver for the Chiefs. He got hurt early in the championship game, if you remember, and his total for receiving yards is at 40. I think that Kansas City's going to need a secondary receiver besides Travis Kelce to be successful. I'm hearing he's close to 100%, so I think they're going to target him 5, 6, 7 times. Let's go over 40 receiving yards. I do not like to play the first touchdown scored in the game. Do you play that one often?
Nope, I don't.
Or is it?
No, I usually don't.
Okay, here's why. Probably 15, 20 years ago, back-to-back years, I had players catch a ball or run a ball down to the 1-yard line. Then what do? Play action, throw a touchdown pass to the third-string tight end. I'm like, I'm done with this. It's too random.
I can hear the anger in your voice to this day. I love it.
Horrible.
I love it.
I think I knocked over a couple, cheese plates or something that my wife had put out. So I'm going to go with, I think, a better way to handle and try to tackle scoring touchdowns. Travis Kelce, score a touchdown any time in the game, minus 120. I think there's a real good chance when you catch 6, 7, 8 balls, maybe even 10 or 15 in a game. We'll go with Travis Kelce to score a touchdown sometime in the game. Then another Memphis product, Philadelphia kicker Jake Elliott, over 7.5 points scored. I think he'll have a couple field goals, put at least 3 or 4 extra points through. That'll get him at 9 or 10 easy. Then finish off the player props with A.J. Brown, plus 25 receiving yards in both halves. I think he's going over. Here's why. I think he is Terrell Owens 2.0. Kansas City's pass defense ranked just 23rd in the league. And Kansas City's given up, on average, 71.5 yards to the top receiver on the other team in their 19 games, 12 of 19 games, over 70 yards. We'll take A.J. Brown plus 25 receiving yards in both halves. Those are some player props I liked. Let's look at some fun props.
By the way, the whole crew here is we're all standing up and giving you a standing ovation. I loved every one of those picks.
Okay.
Every one of them. I know you don't need our approval. I just want you to know all of us here are very excited about those player props. What else you got?
So here we might have a little bit difference of opinion here now. So
are you doing novelty props here? What are you doing?
Yeah, novelty props.
Okay.
What's your favorite Gatorade flavor, guys?
I like classic, just the yellow, green, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, lemon lime.
Yeah.
Did you used to open the glass bottle to see which team you got on the?
I did, and I love that you brought up the glass bottle. Weren't those the best? For some reason, Gatorade tasted better out of those glass bottles than it does the plastic ones.
Did you used to tell your mom also we need to get more Gatorade? Just implore her to buy. We had literally bottles and bottles stacked up
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, especially because you're collecting. Yeah, with the yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can never get your favorite team. I mean, you always got like the Cleveland Browns. I think I had 9 of them.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell with the Browns? I don't want them. You must have been angry. You're sitting there. Can I get the Dolphins? What are we doing? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, what would happen is also same thing as if you were collecting the little mini helmets, 25-cent helmets in the gumball machines.
Yep.
Same thing. So, what's your favorite Gatorade flavor?
Lemon lime.
Okay, and so here's what's crazy. So I thought lemon lime or fruit punch would be the most saleable item. No, Cool Blue is now the most sold Gatorade, followed by fruit punch, lemon lime, glacier freeze, orange, and then grape. 3 of the last 4 years, the head coach has been doused by blue, Cool Blue or glacier freeze, whatever they have. I think they're holding this line down because a lot of people think if Kansas City wins, it's going to be the red fruit punch. It's their color. But I think players love Cool Blue now. So I'm going to go with blue again, plus 400. A cross prop, Toronto guard Fred VanVleet. Points plus assists in their game on Sunday versus Kansas City Chiefs total points. So you look at Fred VanVleet, he averages 19.7 points per game and 6.5 assists. But here's the kicker. They're playing against the Detroit Pistons. Detroit's defense is atrocious. They gave up more than 120 points 7 times in January, more than 135 points 3 times, including a 150-point debacle. I think VanVleet, players love playing in these games early Sunday. I think he's going to have low to mid-30s combined points and assists. I think it's going to be tough for the Chiefs to get above 30. And then we got to go with the granddaddy of them all. My daughter's prediction for the national anthem.
Well, this is the one that's a winner every year. 9 straight years, Lee.
8. We're going for 9.
Oh, okay. Going for 9. Yeah.
Going for 9. So Chris Stapleton says has an amazing voice.
Yes, he does.
Incredible. We were searching on YouTube any available area to try to find him singing national anthem. Nothing. Has not sung a national anthem at a sporting event. So she studied the way that he goes through singing, and she said he holds notes pretty long time, but the phrasing before he gets to that final note has gotten shorter over the years. She said to me, Dad, when I started singing national anthems, I was doing it at minute 40, minute 42. Now I'm doing it at minute 58 to 2 minutes and 2 seconds. She said it's the air quality's dry out there in Arizona. She said the standard for singing the national anthem obviously is Whitney Houston. Then there's everyone else. Idina Menzel, who also one of the great voices of our time, she sang it in 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So it started at a minute 59.5. It's 2 minutes and 6 seconds now. And she said the topper, he's 44 years old and has 5 kids. He might be tired. She says go with the under 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
Boom!
National anthem.
Nobody in the country got the breakdown as thorough on the anthem as we did in Tallahassee today, folks. That is for real. I am racing to my bookie to make this bet, buddy. This is incredible. By the way, just so you know, and it's kind of eerie because we're both big gamblers, I had Pascal Siakam in the game to combo because of that factor with Detroit's defense and the Chiefs' points. So we're on the same page anyhow. I was looking at the same game.
So he and that might be a good bet also.
It is.
Detroit's defense, and he might be relaxed now. There was talk that he was possibly going to be traded.
Right.
So
right. See, you and I are thinking alike here, buddy. I took Siakam. I like it. Hey, brother, I always appreciate it. Be well and tell everybody how they can join your service.
Yep, they want to get the game. We've won 3 of the last 4, going for 4 out of 5, and also our top 10 prop plays. And I even added in a couple bonus selections there. Go to ParamountSports.com, just $97 this year. Also, UFC pay-per-view. It's headed towards the most buys in a UFC pay-per-view ever this Saturday night. We have 7 selections, just $47, and One of those selections will be a 50-unit max wager. Those only happen maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Plus basketball. How about this? We've won 11 straight days. We have not lost a basketball game since Monday. You want to hop on board, get the rest of the college regular season, get this, the March Madness tournament, NBA regular season, and the playoffs. I lowered it to $3.97 because you know what? The ACC, it runs through Miami now.
You got to puff out your chest for something. Latch onto that basketball team, buddy.
All right, the chances of us getting to the Final Four got to be in basketball before football. It's got to be at least minus 400.
Oh, easily. Always appreciate it. Enjoy the game.
I don't know if you know this. So a couple of my friends, Jeff, want to finish with this.
Yeah.
I think the University of Miami sent out the renewals a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off that 5-7 season where you couldn't give away free tickets. I was getting so many invites. I mean, they were offering me in boxes to come. I'm like, no way. I heard they raised prices 30%. And the Golden Cane, the highest level, you know, where you eat underneath in the 72 club, you sit between the 30 and 50-yard line. I think it was like 300-400 Golden Canes, $20,000 a pop. They raised it, get this, 50% to $30,000 a year.
That is insane for a program that has never won the ACC.
Right. Isn't it crazy? I was coming off a year like that. That's the one year you want to hold the line and say, you know, you're going to keep, you know, prices the same. But I guess, you know, when you're building $100 million sports complex,
somebody's going to have to pay for it. Yeah.
That's right. Not going to be me.
Yeah. Be good, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Right,
all right. Later. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. That was funny. Lee was feeling it today. That was really good analysis, though. I'm serious. Everything, the prop bets, everything. I'm going to go back and watch our show.
So base analysis on that says that he loves Philly in this game. Loves them.
Yeah.
If you think Gainwell is going to go over a total, it's not just about leaving him in for 5 or 6 plays. You think that he's going to be in there for garbage time, that A.J. Brown is going to produce in both halves. I mean, that Jake Elliott, he's going to make 4 or 5 extra points and make a couple of field. He's putting them at 30, the high 30s.
Look, if you want to tell the story of the game, which is how you gamble, then I don't disagree with a lot of that analysis. It doesn't mean they'll win, but it certainly is, I think, accurate to suggest they'll score quite a bit. I don't love Kansas City's defense. So I could certainly see Philadelphia with such balance and so many weapons. Yeah, and they run on anybody. They ran on San Francisco, and I know San Francisco didn't have a quarterback, but they still were running on him before he got hurt. They were running on them from the jump street. If you can run on San Francisco's defense, you can run on Kansas City's defense.
I was also stunned that Kelsey anytime touchdowns only minus 120. Shouldn't that be in a game of this significance with wide receiver injuries minus 190?
It's true that probably the most uttered phrase for non-Kansas City fans while watching the Kansas City Chiefs play a football game by men all over the country with palms to the sky, rhetorical, but it's not, staring at their best friend over a beer, is, how is Kelsey that open? How come we can't cover Kelsey? Followed by something that you can't say on the air. I mean, that has to be the most fun for any Kansas City fan, to go to a bar at an opposing city's, fan base or whatever, or just go to a road game with the Chiefs and listen to how many times you hear an opposing fan go, well, did we think they weren't going to throw to Kelsey? I mean, that has to be what you hear the most of, because it is insane. It's not like, oh, Kelsey made a play. Go figure. One of the great tight ends in the history of the sport just made a play. It's the second quarter. My man has 9 catches.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
How many times in your brain can you recall Travis Kelsey making a top flight catch that's contested? Like one of those crazy catches that Julio Jones was
He didn't have to. He's always wide the hell open.
Exactly. I don't have many examples in my head.
Now he can. He's
it's not that he can't.
Yeah, he's immensely talented.
He
right.
never has to.
No, it's insane. Every time he catches the ball, you can't find an opposing defender on the field. You're like, where the hell is did you lose Travis Kelsey? That's impossible. He's only their best player. You gotta have, oh my goodness. Just from a football standpoint, I'd love to talk to defensive coordinators across the league. Be like, yo, man, take me through this. There's no way that you guys didn't have a conversation about this during the week in the build-up to the game. Hey, this guy here, surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, we're going to have to slow him down, guys, because I guess that dude's a problem.
It's how I feel about special teams and blocks in the back.
Oh, yeah. I know.
You are running stride for stride.
You can see the back on the jersey. Yeah.
You see the name, you see the numbers, and how about I put one hand each on each number and then shove this guy? Like, how is it that is something, if it's not a situation in which your punt returner is going to get killed and you're saving him from death?
Yeah, right.
Then how in the world do you say, this is a good idea? And it happens. Always.
It's bizarre to me, too, because, Tom, I played on special teams, and not one time. Now, I got blocked in the back several times, and I remember laughing. One of them was against the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. And I'll never forget, I got blocked in the back into their bench, and I was cracking up laughing because I got cleaned because the guy pushed me from behind, the other guy hit me from the side. Head on a swivel, mine wasn't. And I got my feet straight up into the air, up. I could see my cleats above me. I was laughing. It was like slow motion. I remember laughing. I slammed into their bench, like sliding, and I could hear their players. And, of course, whenever you get knocked into anybody's bench, they all jump around, and it's crazy, right? But I was cracking up laughing, and because it was kind of fun. And I got up, and the guy who hit me was surprised. He thought I wanted to fight because everybody's response in that motion was, is to get mad. And I slapped him on the helmet. And I was like, that was awesome. I jogged back. That was it. I still remember like it was yesterday. But people do. I'm proof I got thrown into a bench by being blocked in the back.
What number were you?
64 that year.
64 is crazy, guys.
Yeah, I was playing defensive end and tight end, and for some of that year, I was a right tackle. At 190 pounds.
Could you bend?
Oh, I could move.
Yeah.
I had good feet, buddy. Yeah, I ran track. I could move, buddy.
What does that have to do with playing right tackle?
Footwork, speed, balance. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A man riding a motorcycle is killed in a crash with a...
What's up, guys? Our next partner that you're going to hear from is Athletic Greens. You've heard me talk about Athletic Greens in the past. Happy to talk about them again. I take Athletic Greens every day. And I gave them a try because certainly I wanted more energy, sustained energy. I wanted to support my immune system. I don't like taking pills and vitamins per se. And I wanted something that tasted good too. And the first time I tried it, I was very surprised. It had an appreciable effect on my energy levels. And also, over time, you'll note that it helps your skin, your hair, your nails. I don't have a lot of hair, but if I did, I bet I could feel that. I bet I could tell. It's a comprehensive health habit, and it is a powerful one at that. AG1 is great for recovery. That's Athletic Greens. And I take mine basically when I wake up every morning, and I don't have to worry about it because you get all the nutrients that you want. It's the best way to ensure that you're going to get all of your vitamins. It's a carbon-neutral business, by the way, if that's important to you. It is to a lot of people, and that's good to know as well. I would also note that it is a comprehensive solution to what you need from a supplement routine. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs right now with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/JCS. Helps me out, guys, if you use that. Not financially, but it lets them know that you heard this ad on my show. And I do take it, and I am vouching for them because I enjoy their product. athleticgreens.com/JCS. Check it out. I think you'll note the difference in your life with a simple drink each and every morning to start your day. athleticgreens.com/JCS. Brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. My man, Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, bears have their own space.
Well,
you got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want I don't know, longevity time, a mouse?
Just a slow burn.
Slow little burn.
This thing just finished the pinking. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay, mouse it is.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Greg Tish here along with
Matty Rowe.
And you can listen to us Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3. Matt, we give away a couple things each week.
Just a few.
We've got the Florida Farm Bureau Insurance Wheel of Food. We have Give Me a Second, where we play a second of a song and you guess that song. And we also play FLA or Nay. We have a lot of fun Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., 9 a.m. on
The Greg Tish Show.
Think that's enough?
We could talk about our feelings.
There's a lot.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Get in, and Joe Thomas get in. Poor Joe Thomas. Good God, man. That's a toughie. I mean, to have that career, to be that good a player, to have to be on that sorry-ass team and that sorry-ass franchise
I
for
thought
that
he was ill. You had me thinking Joe Thomas was ill.
No. Joe,
he can't even enjoy it.
No.
He's not going to make it to Canton. That's what that sounded like.
No, just think about just the desperation. Just the quiet desperation my man had to lead his life through. I mean, every day showing up to that facility knowing damn well you're going to win 3 games and you're the best player on the field any given weekend and you can't win nothing.
Yeah, when Bruce Gradkowski is in the top 3 of quarterbacks that you protected, and that's really not debatable, yikes.
DeMarcus Ware was a beast and he gets in.
Did you watch the video? The Hall of Fame video?
I have not watched it yet. I will. Those are always good.
They lead with him, and it's the best part.
Is it really?
Oh, man. Because knowing behind the scenes with our former colleague, Ernie Sims, had a good relationship with DeMarcus, and apparently he is just the best.
Everybody that has ever played with him says he is a class act professional. Pros pro is the other thing they always bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the first guest on that show, Simply Sims, and I got to talk with him for a little while. I mean, yeah, you're going to do that already. You're going to be kind because you're about to go on the air. But, yeah, it lives up to the billing. Just the best. And his reaction is worth the whole video.
Those videos, that's another thing the NFL does well. They're smart to do that. You can see why it would be so emotional. You think about what you gave of yourself to that league. To play as long as you have to play and to be as good as you have to be to get to the Hall of Fame. You know, most of these guys, I mean, if we're being honest, they don't live lives as long as the ones we're going to live. They literally give up the back end of their life to football, right? And so you get that call. I could see why guys are frequently in those videos just absolutely overwhelmed. And, you know, not only overjoyed, but oftentimes just very, very emotional.
The Zach Thomas one is excellent as well. But 2 Knowles were the ones that made the call. It's no longer that huge guy. That was his last go around.
Yeah.
Recently.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
I would have thought so. I mean, he always looked like he was on the cusp.
Maybe I just knew there was a morbid comment.
No, I thought, come on. Every time I saw him
it.
knocking on the door, I'm like, this will be the last time we see you.
Have you ever read up on that particular dude?
Everybody loves him too.
Weird background. There's no real reason he should be the ambassador.
Just a random dude.
Kinda. Yeah. Weird story with that guy.
Well, he loves the league, buddy.
Walter, yes. Yes, he does. The way that Goodell did before he was commissioner.
Dude, the backstory on Goodell is creepy.
It is.
It's really creepy.
So Walter Jones and Derek Brooks got to make a couple of the house calls.
Nice.
So they're big part of the video.
Yeah. You know, Derek Brooks fits into a category that very few players do that. When I think about it, he always comes to mind as one of the first guys that do that from the very first time you ever saw him play. you thought, oh, that dude, that's different. He's going to be an All-American. He's going to be this and this and that. He's going to be like, I know there were question marks when he got to the pros. Everybody thought he was too small to play in the league. And, of course, the answer was obviously that is the wrong take. Not only is he not too small, he is perhaps too fast, too strong, would have been a better descriptor. I mean, he was a missile. That Rams game that we lost, that we referenced yesterday on the program, the Bert Emanuel game that still angers me. Go back and watch the first half highlights of Derek Brooks taking ribs on every play. And there's audio of him talking after every play too. And it gave you a sense of what he was as a competitor on the field. Just nasty in a good way. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Have you forgotten about the holiday of love? Forget to get a special treat for that special someone in your life? We've got your back. Sugar and Spice Tally is hosting a pop-up cafe on Valentine's Day. Not only will they have pastries available for purchase, but there will be local vendors, artists, tarot readers, and Zap Zap pie trucks, as well as locally made fresh baked goods and drinks. The store will be open from 11 to 7, but vendors will be arriving at 1. Located at 2312 Appalachia Parkway in the same plaza as Puff Smoke Shop. The pop-up cafe on Valentine's Day at Sugar and Spice Tally.
Give your business a facelift with a modern, consistent, creative brand overhaul from Curiosity Marketing Group. These days, it's not enough for your business just to have a standard website or a Google listing to reach your customers. Your business needs to stand out with eye-popping branding, modern web development, and strong marketing. And it takes a team to pull it all together. Words and websites matter. At Curiosity, we make the most of yours. Find out more at curiositymg.com.
I used to fight almost on a daily basis working on my business website. I'm a pretty smart guy, but I could never get it to function the way I needed it to, and I was losing customers because of it. That's when I called Curiosity Marketing. They listened, they understood, we collaborated, and in the end, they delivered beyond my highest expectations. Now, I can barely keep up with the work. They say the future belongs to the curious, and now I'm excited about the future of my business.
Find out more at curiositymg.com.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling knowing taxes are due and you don't know what to do. You're afraid getting help may cost you big bucks and your sanity. Let the Liberty Tax experts show you a brighter way to do taxes. With us, you can get professional tax prep with 0 out-of-pocket charges. Visit libertytax.com and schedule an appointment with a Liberty Tax location near you. Valid at participating locations. Terms and conditions apply. See website or office for details.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
The latest betting odds and live movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Waste Management Phoenix Open at the TPC Scottsdale. John Rahm was the favorite entering the tournament at 7-1. He shot a 3 under. He's 2 shots off the pace. His odds have shortened to plus 320. Nick Taylor and Adam Hadwin share the first round lead, both at 5 under par. Hadwin 16-1, Taylor 40-1 to win the event. Rory McIlroy at plus 850 pre-flop. He was 2 over. He is now 45-1. Eagles laying 1.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 57 at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. The total 51, 71% of the money coming in on the Eagles.
Sign up now for your free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
In honor of Black History Month, join Macy's and UNCF in our mission to empower the youth. Throughout February, you can help fund scholarships for students at historically Black colleges and universities when you donate online to UNCF or round up your Macy's store purchase up to 99 cents and donate the extra change. Give back today, shop Black-owned brands, and find out how we're creating brighter futures for all at Macy's.com/purpose.
From Brent Musburger, and this is Take One, and away we go.
The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. Plus, when you sign up today, you'll automatically be entered to win a free VSiN Pro annual subscription, a $240 value. Sign up for your free VSiN subscription today at vsin.com/subscribe.
Hi, this is Jamie McClenny from Trek Financial in Tallahassee. Managing downside risk in your portfolio is one of the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement. Trillions of dollars in stimulus from the Federal Reserve and D.C. politicians, combined with zero interest rates, have propped up financial markets since the financial crisis ended in 2009. The Fed recently ended quantitative easing and has started to raise interest rates at a time when the global economy was already slowing. Have you considered what another 50% correction in the stock market would do to your retirement plan? If you're concerned about where this all might be headed and would like to find out about the potential benefits of an active risk management strategy for your portfolio, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule a time for a review of your portfolio from an active risk management perspective.
Make Jamie your first call for a second opinion. Investment advisory services are offered through Trek Financial, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Injured? Call Basic Brooks Law Offices, 777-7777.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Those bets, they were thorough last hour. That was fun. By the way, I failed to mention when I was congratulating Ken Riley on making it into the Hall of Fame, his brother was my Pee Wee football coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was my first coach I ever had in football, and I was petrified. I've told the story before. I was petrified. I was the only white kid on an all-black team, and you just are afraid of what you don't know. And so I went out there, and I don't know. I don't know why I was afraid, but I was intimidated because I was little and I'd never played organized football and I was different. You stand out. And I thought I would be a target. The opposite was true. I learned a valuable lesson. People are people. And so it was fun as hell, and I loved it, but he made it fun. And I remember Ken Riley coming to a couple practices, visiting his brother, which I couldn't have known at that time was a big deal. I didn't, because like I said, I don't remember his career. And then years later, I had a chance to talk to him when he was at FAMU, and I brought that point up about, I was like, I played on your brother's. They called it junior midgets back then, so don't get mad at me. I played on your brother's junior midget football team, and he laughed. His brother would wear the same gray sweatpants and gray sweat top to coach every single practice, and he would get razzed every single day. Coach, you want to borrow my dad's sweatshirt? It's a different color at least. You could do something different. And he loved it. And he would lead calisthenics. That was the big thing. Time for calisthenics, everybody. Who calls it that? Nobody calls it that.
In those days.
Yes, it was a bygone era when we called warming up calisthenics. There's that. There is something we did not mention last hour that I think is worth mentioning given the fact that you and I had a conversation about it. And that is that, lo and behold, Oklahoma and Texas have said peace after all. We're buying it out and riding. Agreed in principle to pay the Big 12 a total of $100 million in order to join the SEC in 2024, a year earlier than they had originally intended. That, according to the conference last night. And when I saw that, kind of perked up a little bit and went, $100 million is a paltry sum in the big scheme of things. Could we get a similar deal at $100 million? Because if so, pay that bitch now and let's ride. Let's go. It would take seconds for us to pay $100 million. I'm not even kidding.
Buddy, I am here to tell you that the light is now officially at the end of the tunnel. You can see it. You had brought it up earlier this week that we don't know what the figure is to leave the ACC.
We don't.
You now have a precedent of some kind to set a figure on. You now have leverage in certain ways when you're trying to negotiate out of the ACC, because this is not them cutting a check out of their pocket. Texas and Oklahoma combined for $100 million. It's against future earnings. It is not a money order that they have to go get for $50 million apiece. It's against future disbursements and earnings. So you don't have to have the cash up front. This also means that Fox and ESPN work together, because part of the trading that went on here was that the Michigan and Texas game flipped sites.
Yes,
they have a
it was
home and
swap,
home.
Yes.
Right. So $20 million of the $100 million is going to Fox because they lose the branding of being able to be the home of Texas and Oklahoma for one more year. And in exchange, beyond the $20 million, they get Texas at Michigan, which will be carried on Fox, rather than ESPN getting that game sooner. So this is how they made it work. This tells me that the networks, which, look, ACC, SEC is all ESPN, but if you want this whole picture to help Florida State,
yes,
you need Fox and ESPN to work together.
Yes, you do.
This is proof of that. And now you have a price tag on what it would cost for 1 year at $50 million. Now you know what it costs, and the leverage is in the place of the university. So now the ACC's got to make us happy sooner than later. Buddy, we're going to make it. We are going to make it. I'm convinced when I read this that it's going to be okay.
Well, there are some differences. They were only 2 years away from being able to walk anyhow.
100%.
So,
but we're talking about the investment.
You can extrapolate further, yeah.
The investment that we're making right now should help us be healthy enough to survive as a football program for what, the next 5 years? Like, the money we're putting up now says we're healthy for another 5 years or so before the pinch really is felt. I'm telling you, this starts the countdown clock. Within that period of time, I fully expect either the relationship with the ACC to fundamentally change, where there is uneven
it has
payouts.
to have already happened.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it already has happened.
It's always been a joke.
Well, but we're moving in a direction now. Yes, you're right. This might have accelerated it, Tom. I hope you're right about that. The one thing is, I would argue the ACC is already feeling the pinch of the disparity of money. If you look at college baseball as a good example, we've been talking a lot about college baseball. The SEC, they play at the Taj Mahal every week. I mean, every time I look at an SEC stadium, I think about the sorry ACC stadiums and go, damn it, man. And I look at the preseason top 25 and go, damn it, man. all that money, it's excess. They continue. We saw the numbers yesterday, what the SEC schools made, and damn it, man.
And the best thing that can happen for us as well is that North Carolina is no longer dominant at basketball, which I know that they just made a run, but they're seeing the signs.
And they should have won. They were in the finals. They lost to Kansas, and they had a big lead.
But what I'm saying is that they can't expect that anymore. The SEC star is on the rise in college basketball, and it's not stopping anytime soon. So what was near and dear to Tobacco Road is going away, and they can't deny it anymore. That relative conference, we're 7th right now. We're 7th in terms of relative conference strength. That's a third-party metric, not my own.
Basketball's been waning. Basketball has been waning, and that was their baby, and it doesn't drive the bus, and we know that, and they know that. But yeah.
So what's keeping you here if you're North Carolina? You just need more votes.
No, Granite Rights is keeping you here, just like it's keeping everybody else here.
They can't do enough to keep us around to 2036. They can't do it. So this whole process to me is now crystallized and sped up. We're going to get out of this thing in the next 5 to 6 years. We're going to do it.
Well, okay. So you're not talking about next year or the year after. You're talking about 5 or 6 years? Sure.
Well, no, it could be sooner. But what I'm saying is it's not that this price tag now puts it to where 100% by 2027 or 2028, we're doing something different. We'll have the money to do it at that point. The question is, does everybody want to work together to do it sooner?
Yes. And what you wanted and what I have wanted is I want the continued growth and the whose is bigger argument to continue between the Big Ten and the SEC. Every day that goes by when they're trying to one-up each other or there's a maneuver made to that end is a good day for Florida State and Clemson, anybody else who wants to get the hell out of this conference.
But then the whose is bigger argument is also really ESPN and Fox.
Yes.
And it's just been proven that they can work together to move one entity out of a conference and into
money
another.
And people making lots of it, they tend to find a way to work together.
Which is a great sign for us.
Yeah, and we do need them to continue down that path.
They're going to have to because we think that the ACC schools are not just going to all go to the SEC, the ones that they want. They're going to move around, some to the Big Ten, some to the SEC.
Yeah, you need the you need that duality.
Correct.
Because otherwise, Scott mentions it here, by the way, and I tend to agree with him on this. ESPN doesn't have an incentive right now because the ACC is an asset to them. And they don't want to, for lack of a better term, break up that asset.
Well, I mean, it would be an asset to them if they don't have to pay out a contract to the ACC and all of its member institutions if you cut bait with a few of them. And then whatever your settlement is for those institutions, then you graduate a few to the SEC. And then a couple go over to Fox, maybe you get something back in return. I mean, I think at the level that we're talking about, I don't think the ESPN wants to pay the amount that they have to pay to the ACC for the next, 13 years if they can move some of those assets to a higher place.
Yeah, well,
and then cut a settlement check to some of the schools that are disbanded and they don't get to play big boy football.
Let's hope that is sooner rather than later. I thought in the interim that at the present time, it makes them money. The ACC network makes them money. And the only thing that makes the ACC viable is Florida State, is Clemson, is to some degree, I guess, North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina provides value.
Yeah. I suppose Miami does to some degree. Not much.
They still rate okay, not nearly as good as us.
No.
But yeah.
Well, very few teams rate as good as us. That's true anywhere.
I'm just glad to know that ESPN and Fox can work together. And the talk before this all happened this week was they were in agreement. It was the Big 12 that was the holdup, but they made the money work for both sides. And we need that in order to have the ACC disband in short order. And by short order in these terms, it's 5 years.
It'll be a lot of fun, man. When this happens, the fact that, a lot of people get hung up on the difficulty of winning a Super League. I don't really care at that point. Yeah, maybe I never see us win another national championship in my lifetime. Maybe. But you know what I will see? A lot of great football every week and an opportunity to go to road games in which the people that we're going to play care passionately like we do for the game. Yeah, I'm in on that.
And in turn, you might have to re-expand, Doak. We're sizing it down. You might have to make it bigger because if you're a part of the SEC, how many away markets are coming to you, away fan bases?
Oh,
yeah. Drive up the demand for ticket prices
I actually,
across the board.
Now, this will be very interesting. I don't know that I don't think that is the way that this is going to work out. I don't think you're ever going to go back to expanding stadiums. Again, that's a different discussion altogether, just because of the home viewing experience and how much people enjoy that now compared to the 80s or 90s. It is remarkable. I was thinking about this the other day when I was watching a highlight from a game in 94, and the quality is so poor. And now I realize like why we couldn't wait to get out the damn door to get into the stadium. So you can see the freaking game. Like, we may not have known it, but so you can see what's happening. Oh, that's funny. No, I don't sound like Jerry Jones, Preston. I don't. No, my point is that our fan base, I see this on the boards, and I've had people write to us and say, like, if you go into a super conference, what's the path to winning another national championship? And I'm like, I don't think of it that way. I mean, first of all, Florida State has just as good a chance as anybody else. I mean, where we're located and our cachet and the investment in and soon to have equal money, Florida State's in a better position than 3/4 of the team in the SEC to win a national championship. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you give us equal money, and we're going to leapfrog most of those programs.
Yeah,
that's what we have been yearning for that moment. Now, I'm not saying that it makes it a done deal today. I'm just saying that now I know it's possible. And so therefore, once there's a number that's out there with a precedent and proof that the two big dogs in lieu of a college football commissioner or a Power 5 commissioner can work together to solve an issue like this, that's all the groundwork you need. That's all the wiggle room you need to be sure that that life raft that we've just, my gut feeling says we're going to get a life raft in this. No, now it's more than a gut feeling. You have verifiable reasons to show that it is coming. It's going to happen.
You and I had a gut feeling when all of this started happening, and some of it was the evidence that lay before us. You know, you could deduce from that evidence that this is headed to super conference world. Here we go. This is where it's headed. And in a super conference, any super conference, Florida State has a place. In fact, those who would conduct and build a super conference would have Florida State on the high priority list compared to a lot of teams that are fortunate enough to have been grandfathered in.
If it's a game of pickup, 7-on-7, we're not getting picked last.
Oh, God, no.
Nope.
Notre Dame gets picked first in all likelihood.
That dump of a town.
If there's no team in any conference, so they're just teams, there's just programs, and the Big Ten and the SEC or ESPN and Fox are standing there, and we're on the courts, and it's time to play, I think Notre Dame would get picked first, as much as I begrudge that. I got Notre Dame, ESPN would say.
Is it a snake draft, says Fox?
Who gets two?
Ooh.
Hard, isn't it? Is it Ohio State?
Well, I think USC star is on the rise. If you're talking about projecting forward, you want the LA market.
So I wonder
if it's not a snake draft. If it's a snake draft, they're definitely 2 or 3. But if it's not, you got a decision to make with Ohio State, Alabama,
Ohio
USC,
State,
Texas.
Well, Oklahoma would be ahead of Texas, as they usually are.
Not for media markets. I think now with what Austin is becoming, which is the Silicon Valley of the Central Time Zone.
You mean ruined?
It unfortunately.
Yeah. You mean ruined?
Keep Austin weird is a losing battle at this point, I think.
I know. It's like what happened with San Francisco, yeah.
Unless weird is white collar escort services, then I suppose it's going to stay weird.
That's a political convention. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Whitten Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Whitten's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whitten Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Whitten Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at whittenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
Nothing says Valentine's Day like flowers and chocolates, but I'm not talking about red roses and heart-shaped boxes. Tallulah CBD has a different kind of flowers and chocolate for your loved one this year. Shop for the newest Delta 8 vape and flower products, plus Delta 8 chocolates for just $3.99. CBD massage oils, CBD bath bombs, a selection of enhancing products to really feel the love this Valentine's Day. Come see the ladies at Tallulah for everything you need to love your Valentine.
Let's take a minute to imagine all the things you can accomplish with help from Southeast Portable Buildings. Are you a hoarder? Hoard some more. Get a storage shed. Mother-in-law moving in with you? Put her in a shed out back. I'm kidding. Still working on that engine that you're going to finish from last summer? Move it out to a new workspace with Southeast Portable Buildings. From she sheds and man caves to repair shops and trophy rooms, the possibilities are only limited to your imagination. Visit Southeast Portable Buildings today.
A cup of Joe, Java, Brew, Go-Go Beans, Brainwater, Liquid Lightning, Wakey Juice, whatever you call your cup of coffee, you're missing out if it's not Grassroots Coffee. At grassrootscoffee.com, you'll find an easy way to order the best roasted coffee beans available. It's very simple. Choose the blend you want and how you want it ground, and the bag you receive will have the date your beans were roasted and packaged on it, all written by hand and signed by the roast master himself. You'll know that's as fresh as it gets. You can get Grassroots outside of your house also at some of your favorite restaurants in town. Next time you're out to eat, try asking for Grassroots Coffee by name, because there's a good chance they will have it for you. And if you own a business, Grassroots Coffee has options to stock your break rooms with all the productivity powder your team needs. Plus, like some other options that you'll find at work, Grassroots Coffee actually is a part of our community. Get to grassrootscoffee.com today and get yourself a treat. Some locally owned, locally roasted, and locally loved Grassroots Coffee.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling knowing taxes are due and you don't know what to do. You're afraid getting help may cost you big bucks and your sanity. Let the Liberty Tax experts show you a brighter way to do taxes. With us, you can get professional tax prep with zero out-of-pocket charges. Visit libertytax.com and schedule an appointment with a Liberty Tax location near you. Valid at participating locations. Terms and conditions apply. See website or office for details.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Perhaps I was greatly aided by the fact that early in the season, she picked with her heart before there was enough evidence to sway her later in the season to stop picking the Bucs, amongst other things. I actually had a good year with NFL. Of course, it's the year that we didn't have our spread pool that we're normally in with the 5 picks each week, Tom, because that would have been a good one for me this past year. At one point, I was flying high.
To which the commissioner of that league says, sure, you had a good year. In the
I finished second the year before. I was right there. I've been good. You know what I am in that league is last or on the cusp of winning.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There is no,
it's weird.
There is no 49.8%.
No, I'm really good or awful. No chance.
There was the one year that guy in the pool was
65%, yes. And I lost that year. I was at 59% and I lost.
I'm telling you, he was flipping coins every Sunday, making his picks.
SOB. I'm still mad about it. I was at 59.8% or so, almost 60% for the season against NFL spreads, and my man housed me. I wasn't even close. That's a toughie. All right. Let's talk to my mom. Go ahead, cue it up.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room!
Mana, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, I don't know what the number is. I think it's double digits. It got ugly late.
No, I talked to Tom. I'm 7 down.
I think that's a lie.
No. And Tom suggested I say double or nothing.
Oh, yeah, of course. I don't know, Mom. I kind of housed you in the playoffs. I don't think we were on. You got desperate there at the end. I remember.
I did, but I definitely, I think it's 7 is right. I really do. Now, I guess I could be 8, but I think it's 7. I do.
You guys have conspired to make this sound respectable. The truth is that 7 represents 12.
No. Because remember, I made a pretty good comeback before I started to slide again.
Well, right. The comeback got you to within 5 or 6, and then I think I beat you in every single playoff game we picked.
I think I got up within 4, and then I did one of them. I think wasn't one of them I split, and then the other one when I went crazy because I had to pick 2 that were different from you. So then I lost both of those, and so anyway, I think it's 7, but it's possible it's 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if that makes you feel better, it's 7 or 8. That's fine.
It really doesn't matter one way or the other at this point. But I'm telling you, hasn't this year flown by?
Yeah, it has. And now it's going to take forever because we're so excited up here about the direction Florida State's going, and we want to see him continue to play. And, Mike just got his extension on the contract, and the team's going to be good. And so, yeah, it's going to be, everybody's excited. Got this entire offseason. I don't want to go there, though. Here's where I want to go. We'll celebrate the Super Bowl, but we'll celebrate because I thought of you last night when the news came down, and you got to be elated, right? Ronde Barber gets in.
I texted you. I sent you a text and said, how about that? That my picture with Ronde is even more special now.
Yeah. Do you have it displayed? Is it out where everybody can see you and Hall of Famer Ronde Barber in the box at the Lightning game?
I should bring that out. I have it in the bedroom on my dresser, actually, but I may have to bring that out, yes, into the forefront because that is, who knew at that point, but how exciting was that?
I know. Good news. Well, it's always good to add Buccaneers to the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, and he deserved it for sure.
Yeah, he was a great player, and I know, and he was really nice to you that night. He was nice to us. He was super nice, and he's also come on my SiriusXM golf show and did like a 30-minute interview with me and Trey about golf and how much he loves it, and he golfs he golfs every day in Tampa. Yeah, he's forever on the golf course.
He's a good guy. We like good guys to do well.
Yeah. All right, who you got? You like the Chiefs or you like the Eagles?
I know. You know what? You know me. I always pick with my heart, but so I'm not going to do that today. But it doesn't matter anyway. But I think that the Eagles are going to win. So I want the Chiefs to win, but I'm going to pick the Eagles.
I too am taking the Eagles, so we remain on the same side.
Yeah, it's not that. Well, I've said I don't like the Eagles at all. I do like Jalen Hurts, I do, but I don't want them to win. And I know that the Kansas City has won recently, but I just I like Andy Reid and I do like Patrick Mahomes. So so that's why I would like them to win. But I am picking the Eagles.
It's oddly, I would say this. Tom and I brought this up earlier this year. For a while there, the Eagles were like a rival of Tampa Bay,
yes,
and it was
they were,
and it was fun. It was fun while that whole thing was going down when we won the first Super Bowl and having to get them and shut down the stadium, shut down the vet, and then start the new stadium, open it with a loss as the Bucs beat them on a Monday night. The nation watching, that was great too.
Absolutely.
But that said, this is a likable Eagles team. And that is a very likable Kansas City team as well. I find both teams likable in that they all, listen, it stands to reason 2 teams that make the Super Bowl have a lot of good players, go figure. But they're likable good players for the most part.
They are, and I love the whole Kelsey brother thing. I really do. And gosh, I tell you what, if I was their mom, though, oh my God, that is well, she can't lose, but boy, that is a tough thing.
Yeah, it would be a hard thing, but I also am about done with that storyline. I don't need to see her anymore. I don't need to hear from her anymore. I'm tired of them talking about.
Have made quite a bit of that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that is for sure. But yeah, no. Well, like I said, I won't really care one way or the other. But I would prefer the Chiefs win. But I do think the Eagles probably. The thing is, it just depends on. I think if Kansas City can give Patrick Mahomes enough time to do what he does, and if they can't, then I think that's the problem.
Well, it would be. That usually is the case. Yeah, he's a magician. I love you, Mama. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll talk soon.
I love you too, and it's been a fun year, and it's gone fast, but I'm already getting ready for next year.
All right, well, you'll have to start studying up. This was a boat racing.
I will. You have fun, everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mom. That's Mama. Locked in. She doesn't get nervous watching other teams play, so that's good for her. She can sit back and relax and watch the damn game. She gets really nervous watching the Bucs. She can't hardly do it. I don't know what it is about old people. They can't watch the games anymore. I know so many old people that just can't even watch their team play. I'm like, get over it. It's a game. I love the game. It matters greatly to me in the moment, but I'm not going to not watch it.
My only rule with big games, playoff games.
By myself. I want to watch them by myself.
That's your rule.
That's kind of your rule.
It depends if I'm in the build. I can go to the game.
Correct, but you're not going to go to a bar to watch the Bucs in the Super Bowl.
No.
You'd watch that at your house with your wife.
Yeah. And she's great because she is exactly like we communicate beforehand for both our teams because her teams have won some games and been in some high-profile playoff games. What do you need? You need me to be a refill gal or refill guy?
Yeah.
Is that what you need?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like conversation? What's the food going to be?
The answer is no on the conversation. I don't need to be chit-chatty.
Well, sometimes it's nice to distract when, the halftime goes for 25 minutes.
Halftime is one thing.
Yeah.
The game is when the game's in
or
play.
The lead up to the day, the lead up to the game. For me, it's, hey, man, you got to cut back on the boozing. These are big games. You got to have your emotions and your wits completely about you. That's one of the big rules. But guess what? Second half of the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, we were knocking them back.
You could pour them stiff. It didn't matter. That game was over.
The Fournette touchdown. That was the one that ended it when we went unbalanced to the right.
That was a good play call.
It's excellent. They had so many of those.
They were on fire in that game. They felt, yeah.
They had a couple for Green Bay, too.
They were in total control. Kansas City was non-competitive in the Super Bowl against the Bucs.
I was nervous that whole day, though.
Humiliated, you could say.
That's about the nerves. I was nervous all day. You wake up that day, and you try to sleep as long as you can, because Super Bowl, it's not 9 p.m., but it's late enough, and you're just kind of fidgety.
The reason being, and this is something that comes with age as well, the realization that unless you're one of the very lucky few, like, say, a modern-day New England fan, and you fall into this gift of having the all-time greatest quarterback who's also willing to take huge pay cuts so that the roster can be better filled out over the bulk of his career, and also having a genius as your head coach fall in line perfectly, unless you're one of those lucky fans.
And he's a defensive genius because it matters that you spread the skill set a little bit.
That's correct.
Because you could have an offensive genius like Sean Payton, like everybody says, and Drew Brees, but that's only one side of the ball.
That amassed one Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about that is, yes, you're right. Unless you're one of those lucky few, then you realize how damn difficult it is to win a Super Bowl. The Vikings fans know how damn difficult it is to win a Super Bowl having never won one. And I'm not doing that to be a jerk. It's just that's their reality. They've never won one. And I'm sure that when you're sitting there as a fan of a team that's never won one, you're reminded of it all the time, especially as others that also at one time had not won one have not only won one now, but two.
Yeah, sure. I don't know who you speak of.
Yeah, but that's a toughie.
That's one of the deals. If they go, that is the creme de la creme experience for my wife. That's the golden goose. For me, it's a World Series with the Mets. That's what's left, and that means a whole heap.
You saw the Yankees and the Mets?
I mean, we got to win the World Series.
Oh, I'm just saying you got to see them in it.
I was 2 days old when we won the
in
last
86,
World.
yes. I was in high school, Tom. I saw it.
Would have been 1 day old if it wasn't rained out for Game 7 on October 26th. But that's the one where I will go to the Super Bowl town with her. She could go with her mom because they're bonded with Vikings football forever.
Sure.
And then it's just, if good things happen, I'll have a celebration. I'll rent whatever I need to rent.
Yeah. it's funny as you get older, if you're a fan of a team that finally wins a championship, let alone multiple championships, then, you want it for the people that you love whose teams haven't. You want that for them. You want them to experience that. Like the Lightning now, we just win it every other year, sometimes 2-3 times in a row. It's just whatever.
Right.
But
we played her Rangers last year in the East Finals. And when they were up, I was like, oh, well, this could be really good for her. If we had to lose. Now, you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
We didn't.
And we didn't. It's a damn shame. That's just, wow. We went to game 6. We saw the handshake line. Like, oh, man. If you won it, I wouldn't have been terribly disappointed.
If you had. Big if.
But
you didn't.
Weren't good enough.
No. Once again, it was the Lightning that prevailed. Now, I will be downright a mess if the sad sap, sorry-ass Pittsburgh Pirates ever find their way back to a World Series. I've been through hell.
Christy, get the phone. Take it away.
Oh, I
take it away.
Yeah.
Would you allow anybody in the room? Would you allow your father in the room? Game 7. Game 7.
Oh!
Pirates, Yankees. Here you go.
There was once a very famous Game 7 Pirates-Yankees that the Pittsburgh Pirates won, and it's one of the great moments in the history of the sport. But
the symmetry of the moment. Look at that. Would you allow Dad in the room?
Yes, okay. I would. I don't know how many World Series he has left, so I'd have to leave him in the room. I'd have to get him in the room.
That was an honest response.
By definition, we don't live forever, Tom. I mean, this is the way it works.
Hey, this is Libations Friday.
I'm not being a downer. I'm a realist. So, yeah, I would have him in the room for sure if he wanted to be. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He's a San Francisco Giants fan. He's seen them win a gazillion World Series thanks to Buster Posey, who's having his jersey retired. It's funny. I was happy for him when the Giants won the World Series because prior to that, they hadn't in forever and a day. It was a very similar path to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he was saying, I got to see it. I got to see it in my life. So they won the first one. I called him and I was like, Dad, I'm so happy for you. This is just an amazing moment. And he was beside himself happy. They won it again 2 years later or whatever it was. And I was like, it's a really awesome. What a run. Now you've got 2, Dad. That third one, I was like, you can go to hell. I'm done with these. I'm not happy for you at all. I hope you never win another one. I'm done with this. It went from joy to, that's it. You've got too many. This is gluttonous.
I wonder if he's given any thought to come down for the Buster Posey retirement. He could wear Giants and Knowles stuff.
He should. He could get the picture that we took with Buster Posey and him wearing the World Series ring on his hand signed by Buster that day.
I'm sure you could make that happen.
I think I could. That'd be a cool thing.
Early Father's Day gift. There you go. He's not listening right now.
No, he's not. He's traveling. But yeah, that would be. But yeah, it's funny how it shifts. If the Vikings win the Super Bowl, you're like, that's awesome. They win another one. You're like, that's really cool. That third one, you'd be like, okay, we about enough of the Vikings now. Let's slow our roll.
Just gonna keep celebrating the rest of your life. That's fine.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
There's a renewed push to get passenger rail back to the Big Bend. There are some challenges to overcome before that can happen, though. Rail service has been suspended indefinitely on August 27th of 2005 due to Hurricane Katrina. Leaders have been inspired by a recently released map. It shows routes where groups have expressed an interest in restoring service along Amtrak's network. It was presented to Amtrak Board of Directors last already passed bipartisan infrastructure bill. The law allocates $56 billion for passenger rail, mostly Amtrak, across the nation. The Gadsden County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deadly shooting Thursday in Havana. The shooting happened on Plantation Drive near Highway 12. Limited details were released, but a spokesperson with GCSO said that one person died as a result of the shooting. The scene is secured and there is no current threat to the public. The investigation remains open and active at this time. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon, otherwise overcast skies. High of 73, southerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms likely tonight. Lows dip down to about 53. Cloudy skies expected. Scattered thunderstorms likely tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 61. Cloudy skies. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 66.
We understand how important it is to have transportation you can rely on. So no matter what the road ahead brings, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
I'm Andy Cohen with Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. Please call me at 850-671-FARM.
My man Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, bears have their own space. You got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, I don't know, longevity time, a mouse.
Just a slow burn.
Slow little burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay. Mouse it is.
Gordo's bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, Greg?
You know all the different ways that you can listen to Real Talk 93.3?
There are several.
So we've got realtalk93.com. You can go back and listen to all of our shows in the podcast section.
That's right. You can also listen on our app as well.
Search Real Talk 93.3 and look for the red microphone and download our app. Never go anywhere without us.
And of course, you can always listen right on the radio.
Well, they are listening.
Are they?
If they're hearing this commercial, then they're listening.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
To my high school and was unreal as an underclassman. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Marcus writes, "Go Birds. I know this is an FSU show, but you all have made this NFL season more enjoyable. Director Matthew, thanks for being my bird brother this season. One more game." Writes Marcus. Yeah, it's an FSU-centric show, but the Jeff Cameron Show has always branched out and talked about whatever we damn well please. And that would include all the other sports and many non-sports. So don't worry at all, Marcus. That's the way it's going to remain.
It's time for Tub Talk, brought to you by Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas. Buy yourself the hot tub you've always wanted at the price you've always wanted from Pinch a Penny on Greer Street. Now it's live to the tub.
Briley asked a good question, which was what happens first? The ACC dissolves without Miami ever winning an ACC championship, or Miami wins the ACC because FSU, Clemson, North Carolina, and Louisville have all left. Probably throw a few more in there, Riley.
North Carolina, Duke,
Wake, Virginia Tech,
Georgia Tech.
Just keep going. Oh, man. And Bob doesn't think I'll read it, so I will. That's really good reverse psychology there, Bob. Tom, please answer my questions because Jeff thinks I ask bad questions. Will you be giving hockey wagering advice, insight again this year? It was good last year. Go Italy baseball. Fly Eagles fly. Tom, do you want to answer Bob's question?
I did in the chat as well. But yeah, I mean, this is the time of year now that we're out of football. Nice little relaxed period of time. It's not like I'm doing breakdowns on the basketball team and their matchups that are upcoming.
They're playing. They're going to play in front of 9 people this weekend. Tomorrow, in fact, at the TLC Double C.
I thought an excellent play was last night. Didn't share it with the masses. Sorry about that. But Lightning Colorado, because they had
we'd gotten
accrued,
smoked 7-1 the game before.
and they lost the night after. So 1 out of 4 points. You got Colorado coming to town, a little emotional kick in the rear end.
We played well last night.
Colorado had won 7 of their previous 10. They played. That was a good spot. That was a good spot to pick Tampa.
Should've
Tomorrow,
probably told the folks on the air about that.
I know. Tomorrow's a little rougher. Tomorrow, I'd lean on. Here you go. Here's one for you. I'd lean on the over as long as it's not north of 7 or higher for Tampa, Dallas. It's a quick turnaround for Tampa. Dallas scores a lot of goals, and that's a 1 p.m. start tomorrow on ABC. So I like the over in tomorrow's game with Lightning Dallas if you can get it at 7 where it cashes.
Sleepy nooner for the Noles tomorrow, and that means Pitt comes to town, don't exactly have a huge following. Their fan base won't show up. Florida State fan base probably will not exceed the number of fans that attended the Newberry College exhibition game in October, given that the Noles lost again the other night at home, blew a lead, couldn't score for the better part of half of the second half. Quite literally could not score. It's unwatchable. It's really unwatchable when Worley's on the court. He stinks, and it's brutal. It's hard to watch.
It's a very serious turn to the tub, but that's why we're in the tub, so we can relax about it. I think that Pitt and Georgia Tech are the 2 perfect teams to have a sleepy nooner basketball game. They are the perfect 2 programs where you tip off at noon and you're like, yeah, it seems about right. It's Pitt. It's Georgia Tech. They just fit that mold perfectly.
Ladies lost 86-82 to Miami, and that is not cool because that team is worth watching and noting. But they got out-rebounded 47-28. Hard to win games when you get out-rebounded 47-28. Also, when you lose a game, just on a side note here, when you lose 86-82 and you're a coach, you're Brooke Wyckoff, you're coming off the floor, a little disappointed, a little frustrated with your team to get out-rebounded, out-muscled like that. Like, what else could we have done? Oh, we could have shot better than 50% from the free throw line where we were 10 of 20. So a whole lot of that ain't going to get it done.
That screams fluke if that's the margin of victory with those 2 stats involved.
But it drops them into a 4-way tie for third, and it's a problem. You don't need to do that.
Did you note yesterday that the first bomb was delivered by Edenfield over at the softball complex? Home run number 1 on the season as softball season has begun.
Very cool. Rained out today if they're playing.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
The goal is to get out there tomorrow, but I mean, I don't know that the weather's going to cooperate.
It doesn't appear to be a good weekend in Tallahassee. If you're local, this is going to be what you're getting right now. All the way through. Of course, just in time for the weekend. Here comes a little get you some, everybody. Enjoy your living room.
At least it's the WM and not Pebble. You got something there. And they're not going to finish today. They're not going to finish the second round.
Couldn't finish yesterday.
Which means you get morning tea times. Even though
buddy.
It's a couple time zones away, you get a little bonus coverage around 9 in the morning tomorrow.
Damn right you do.
The hell I'm locked into.
I've got multiple wagers going for tomorrow, and I'm excited about today and tomorrow. Tiger announced the return to the PGA Tour next week. You know that?
Well, it is his tournament at the Genesis, but he's officially going to play, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That's not an easy course. Why is he?
Because it's his.
It will be interesting to see how he plays. Give us a little hope. Just give us a little hope. There,
it's not the longest course in the world,
No,
right? So
no.
that's probably part of the thinking is the walking. He doesn't like to do that much anymore.
Really can't. I mean, he's talked about it quite a bit. It will be interesting. I hope he plays well. I think as we get closer and closer, by the way, you see the Masters commercials now, and you're like, ooh.
Yep. I mean, it's not crazy to talk about that. And can we say, all right, FSU, the spring game is not on moving day at the Masters. Hooray. We do not have to worry about double duty on Masters Saturday or Sunday. Love it.
Yeah. It does frustrate people every year that they screw it up where the baseball is not going on the same weekend. That angers people. But to me, by now, that must be intentional, right?
Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah, because they never do it.
Maybe when you do the tour of the inner workings of Hauser, and by workings, I mean not workings, things that don't work. Maybe you can ask Link Jarrett about that.
I got to get over there soon. I think play has been suspended yet again, did you say, in Scottsdale?
Has it?
I think the wind temporarily.
Oh, come on.
We'll see. I don't know.
Shoot your 75 and like it.
Well, John Rahm, my man out there, -4 through 11 today, leads the tournament. That's a good thing because somebody may have taken John Rahm atop his 5 picks. Scotty Scheffler is at 6 under right behind him, 3 under on the day through 9.
Look out.
Oh, yeah, we've got ourselves, buddy, Listen to this. Your top three, Rom, Scheffler, Day. Good on you, Jason Day.
Who?
Jason Day again. He's back, baby.
Or his back, baby. One or the other.
The good news is that when the back is right, he's really good. It's good to see. Golf could use it. A lot of good names up there. One shocking name up on that leaderboard is Zach Johnson in the top 10.
Oh, my.
That little slappy's out here at
Must be a lot of downwind with those gusts.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hey, Ricky Fowler's there again. Tied 10 right now.
See? What a year. This is going to be a good year. Ricky Fowler, Jason Day.
Oh, our mutual friend Bill's doing backflips. Ricky's back in it.
That's right. I forgot he's a big Ricky guy. I've gotten to where I feel sorry enough for him.
Yep. Oh, if he's contending, it'll be like the Sergio Masters. Everybody will be like, come on, Ricky. You can do it, Ricky.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, at least Ricky's not an ass the way Sergio turned out to be. I mean, Ricky.
It's okay. If you're from Spain, it's okay. Somehow. It just makes
John
it okay.
Rahm seems like a really good guy.
He does. Sevy didn't.
No.
Sevy didn't seem so good.
No, he didn't. That's sacrilege to say in the golf circles, but people know. Well, it's the same thing. Like anytime you talk to people historically, like the people that are old enough to remember, Ben Hogan and people that weren't exactly the nicest fellows.
Oh, man.
Like,
No,
not
that
a nice dude. He looks intimidating. Arnold Palmer tells the story about how he was just outright mean. Mean. So they're smoking a cigarette, eating by himself. All the other players are sitting together. He's just by himself. Screw you, losers.
There's the thing, though. It's like what Ponder and Jameis could do with Jimbo. There's a level of mean where it just becomes funny. And then you just mess with the guy. The guy's being serious, and you kind of enjoy it. We had substitute teachers like that or old gym teachers like that in my high school and elementary school. Like, if they're just that much of a jerk, you kind of get to have fun with it because you don't have to worry about getting along. You know you can't. So it gets fun.
Any player props that we didn't touch on before we sign off and our picks, right? I guess we should. I think we're both picking the Chiefs to win the game.
The Chiefs?
I mean, excuse me, the Eagles?
Yeah, I'm picking the Eagles.
I'm picking the Eagles.
It's got that kind of groundswell. I'm not saying it's identical to our Super Bowl win over the Chiefs when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won their second Super Bowl. But it does kind of just feel quietly like the Eagles are going to enjoy the fourth quarter on Sunday. I'd prefer a good game. I'm not rooting for either team. I'm at the point where I'm just rooting for a good game.
For those that don't know, you want to talk about good value. You can get the Chiefs on the money line for plus 105. They're only a 1.5 underdog. It's not like, when you look at these numbers and you kind of think, well, where is this? I mean, sharps think this is a really even matchup. I tend to disagree. I tend to agree.
Do you open up the pocketbook on Super Bowl Sunday? Do you put more wagers down just for the hell of it because it's the big final hurrah?
I made these two bets this morning.
Okay.
I took Pacheco over 47.5 yards rushing.
Ooh.
And I took Patrick Mahomes under 295 yards passing.
So you'd like the under in this game. You would trend towards the under.
The total's 51. If it got above 51, yes, I always trend towards the under on Super Bowls.
But I mean,
in general, I
story
take
to
the
me
under.
is,
They're going to try to run the ball and keep.
It's got 27-21 written all over it. The way that you're.
Yeah, I would love for that number to get over 51. It's at 51 now. It's a smart number. I'd like for that number to get to 51.5, 52, and I would just jump all over the under at that point.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I like the under.
Monitoring that. On
yeah,
Sunday.
I like the under in this football game. I tend to like the unders in Super Bowls, just generally speaking. I think there's we talked about it earlier this week. I think there's a feeling out process. A lot of times there's sort of just a little bit more close to the vest, as far as the early play calling. Players go all out. There is no tomorrow. I got that. Like, Hurts will run the ball in this game on Sunday. He's not going to be afraid to run the ball. His total keeps going up. If you're looking for player props, I think it's at 50 now, 50 yards rushing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, I mean.
Well, it takes is one big one. And then what you're hedging against, though, are kneel downs. Because what I believe it was the San Francisco,
it happened recently.
Kansas City.
You got screwed on one of these, didn't you?
I might have.
Somebody we know did.
But this is an all-timer. So Mahomes' 3 kneel downs were so far behind the line of scrimmage against San Francisco that it moved the line. it needed to be -8 or -9 on 3.
Yeah, you see
three
really,
kneel downs.
yeah, it's something really strange.
And he just kind of backtracked.
and you're like, no. Yeah.
By a half yard.
It's always funny when you're watching things like that play out. It's almost like slow motion. Like he's going to do it again. How many yards is he going to take? No. Just go straight down behind the
Because
center,
they got to
Patrick.
kill a couple extra
Yeah.
seconds.
You think of the poor bastards that are watching that. They're smiling like, all right. Well, he doesn't need to do that again. I mean,
That's where Brady was always petty about that for his own rushing totals, not for
yeah,
wagers. But he would always drop the knee down right
between
under the cheeks.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, the lines for those wondering: Chiefs at +1.5 at -110. Over unders 51. Money line Chiefs +105. Money line Eagles -125. The fun was what we had last hour. For those, I'll reference it one more time, though, but those that didn't get to hear it, Lee came prepared and ready to roll today. That was a really good segment with Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. Fun prop bets. He had real conviction in the numbers that he was looking at there. And I would also suggest that the under on the national anthem, given that his daughter sung it 9 times at professional sporting events.
206 seems really high.
That's a long time to sing.
It was 158 when I lost the bet to Eric Llewellyn. Because Christina Aguilera forgot a line.
Forgot the lyrics. Flubbed the whole damn thing.
Take her green card. She's done.
Good work out of you. Good work, Director Matthew. And all be well. Have a wondrous weekend. We will be back with you on Monday. Take care. Peace.